Hello, bonjour. It's Sunday night now. We've done a couple of reviews of Gary's ciders. This is the last one. This is number 6 of 6. So yeah, let's get on with it. There's ice in there, Gary, and I know I'd said I wouldn't do ice, so I'm going to get rid of that because that's, you know, wrong on so many levels. So this is the R3. I know there's rosy yeast in here, and I know it's a young brew. So all I've got to go on is the fact that it's a young brew, and there's rosy yeast in it. That's all I've got to go on. I've got nothing else to go on. What I will say, chaps, is I've been drinking Gary's cider all day now, and I've had a couple of my own during the process, so forgive me if I'm a little bit pissed during this video. In the background you might hear some music as well. I've been listening to some sounds this afternoon. I think what's playing at the moment is Papa Was a Rolling Stone, so enjoy that. It's nice on the background, don't worry about it, it's there. So, let's see if this has got any fizz in it. No! Gary, fucking carbonate your beer, mate. What's wrong with you? Why do you like it flat? I just don't get it. I'm a carbonating person. I like beer that is carbonated. And why am I looking over here when you're over there? Hello. Decanting. This has been washed now, folks, so let's pour this in here. Seems like a nice enough colour. We'll see how it tastes, shall we? There's no fizz, certainly. Although I might be surprised, Gary might have put some bloody honey in there just to confuse and disorientate me. Who can say? I suspect he hasn't. I suspect this is just a flat cider, a scrumpy, so to speak. What have we got here then? Swish it around a bit, get some air in there. What can I smell? I can smell rosy yeast, Gary. I know you like rosy yeast, but I do wish you'd be a little bit more open to using other yeasts, right? If you're going to give me some ciders, don't just give me ciders with rosy yeast in. Give me some ciders with other yeasts in, and let me try and get some more flavours out of the brews. Because I know a rosy yeast has been used from the smell. You can smell the rosy yeast. It's there's no getting around that. It's just it's how it is. If you're used to the smell of rosy yeast, you know what to look for, folks. So there we are. There it is. Look, it's all right, isn't it? It's not a cider that's too cloudy. There's not too much mist in there. Let's give it a little bit of a shake around just to aerate it a little bit more. Give it a little bit of a sippy poos. Yeah. Rosy yeast straight from the smell, Gary. You can't hide the rosy yeast smell unless you've thrown a shed loads of other flavours in there to cover that up. All I can smell is rosy yeast. It smells like old rosy. That's the problem with old rosy yeast, is that whenever you do a cider, it's going to smell like old rosy unless you put some other stuff in there that covers that up. Like a sort of fruity beverages, raspberry, strawberry, whatever. See what it tastes like, shall we? Not bad, quite a strong taste there. I can taste apples in this one though, Gary, which is quite nice, unlike the last one where it was just mental. Just mental bloody... just too much, mate. This one is subtle, quite sweet, and if this was carbonated, I'll be honest with you, I think I'd rather enjoy it. It's just that you prefer your flat ciders and I prefer mine with some carbonation in. So just carbon, and I forget the nation in it. It needs some fizz in it, mate, to be honest. But, you know, whatever. Whatever takes your fancy. You can see I've done too many of these now, chaps. I'm running out of things to say for these ciders. Thankfully, this is the last one. Not because I'm bored of drinking Gary cider, it's just that I've done... How many have I done today? 3. This is the 4th one, maybe. Or 2. This is the 3rd one, I don't know. And I'm a little bit pissed. Plus, I've been drinking my own Muntons lager and Coopers, and to mix that up with normal cider probably isn't a good idea, but what can you do? So I have to give an honest opinion on this particular brew now, as I said I would do, and I always try to do that. This one I quite like. Gary, this is nice, mate. Really like this one. If this was fizzy, it'd be perfect, mate. I don't understand. I don't understand why you left it flat. To be honest, I know you like them flat, and you know you're doing your ciders for you at the end of the day. But I think if this was carbonated, this would be the top brew so far. As it is, there's no carbonation in there, so I have to knock it down a bit because I think carbonation sometimes brings out the flavours more on your tongue. But having said that, it's very pleasant, and I would say, can I say this is my favourite so far? Yeah, I'd give this an 8.2, Gary. An 8.2, just to bring it ahead of the others. The aroma's nice. There's no hint at all of alcohol that you get in a young brew, and I know that all of these are quite young brews, so I've been spoke to you recently. Yeah, this is good, folks. R3 is the best so far, I think. The problem is you know, I've had a couple of beers today, and I'm judging it purely on how I'm tasting it now. So maybe I need to go away and have another bottle. And thankfully, Gary's given me another bottle, so I might drink that tomorrow and change my mind. But today, this is the best one, I think. How could I improve it? We need carbonation, Gary. We need carbonation in there. That's how I would improve this, by priming it and, you know, giving it some bubbles in that. This would be a really nice cider if it had some bubbles in it. I'm not a scrumpy fan. I don't like flat ciders. Sorry, it's just my thing. You know, 5 years ago I would have been completely different, and I would have liked scrumpies. But you know, I'm an old git now, and as you get older, your tastes change, and my tastes have changed, and I don't like scrumpies anymore. I don't like flat ciders. I prefer, well, to say I don't like them is wrong. I prefer carbonated ciders over flat ciders. I will drink flat ciders if there's nothing else, but if you put a flat cider in front of me or a carbonated lager, I'll drink the lager, and I'm a cider fan, so it gives you a rough idea as to how I feel about it. I can smell rosy yeast in there, Gary. There's nothing else in there, mate. That's all I can smell. I can just smell the rosy yeast. Nothing wrong with that. But maybe it's a subtlety, and it's just the fact that it's normal apple juice. I suspect you ain't done much with this. I think it's probably just apple juice, supermarket apple juice, and Old Rosie. And if it is, then it's great. It's the best one so far, because there's nothing there's nothing else in there. There's nothing else to expect, and on the tongue, that's all I'm getting. So I'm hoping that's the case. And if you've done anything clever with it, then I'm missing it, mate. To me, it's a simple cider, and sometimes, folks, simple ciders are the best. You don't have to go crazy and tweak brews. Sometimes to go slow on a brew and not do anything clever with it is a nice thing to do. So I don't know why I keep looking over there. I think up the top here there's a timer, and I keep looking at that, but the camera is just over there, folks, so I should be looking over there. Hello. But bear in mind, I'm a little bit pissed, so I apologise for that. This is my favourite so far, so I'm going to give you an 8.2 for this. That might surprise you. You might think that the Red Bush was going to come out on top, but I don't know what it is. I like how can I explain this? I don't always like complexity in a cider. Sometimes I just want to taste apples. That's all I want from a cider. I want to taste apples. Sometimes, it's nice to have some flavour in there. But this on its own, there's nothing wrong with it really, mate. If you've just done apple juice and you've just stuck some Old Rosie in there, it's a good one. And for that on its own, and I might be wrong, and I'm sure you'll correct me and tell me there's some fucking complex solution that you use to stick in here, but I don't think you have. I just think you've used normal supermarket juice and Old Rosie. And if you have, then it's come out really nice, and you don't really need to do anything else to it apart from carbonate it. Carbonation, Gary. Remember carbonation. So that's all for me for now. This is the last one. This is the winner. So cheers, guys.